Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's been about a week. Finally got the sprocket set in, picked up from last time. You know, I don't work on these prior to the videos, so what you're seeing is when I'm actually working on them. So we pulled off that cover only to realize the front sprocket is toast. All the teeth are bent over, and it's just a good idea to replace the front sprocket, rear sprocket, and the chain all as one. In this particular case, I just bought the chain, not realizing that, or not knowing that the front sprocket was pretty badly worn. So it's an eBay purchase. No idea who makes it. It's probably Chinese. New sprocket. This looks substantially larger. I can't see. 43 tooth. No, this is 43 tooth. This is 43 tooth. And then the front sprocket is 16. And then, of course, the blue chain. I'm gonna. It comes with the blue chain came with a rivet type and that clip type master link. So I really would like to show you guys how to put these these rivet type master links on, because they suck. They are not fun. You need a special tool for them. I made my special tool because the special tool for these are it's outrageous, actually. And no, the $17 ones or $10, whatever, those blue ones online on eBay will not work on a rivet type master link. All those do is push on the front piece of a clip type master link so you can get the clip in there. That's all those do. So I modified one of those tools to actually rivet. Okay, so let's get going here. I'm gonna pull the back wheel off. The first video I showed that this rim lip is bent. It's a lot more than that. This rim is toast, so we'll have to find, spinning it. It's wobbling all over the place. Let me show you. It's got a couple of bends, rim lip dings in there on the left side, one on the right. But when you spin it, it's wobbling all over the place. It's gone. So there's no fixing that. So I'll have to source another rim, and most likely that front rim too, because the front lip is bent as well. I won't know if the rim is usable until I get the front end up and spin things. So let's focus on getting the chain and sprockets in, and then I'll source a rim later. It's boring TV swapping a rim, but we'll do that later. I'm not prepared. Let me find my tools. Oh wow, the first time the axle nut actually has a pin in it. It's the first one I've seen in a while. Most of the time those are missing. I bought a clip kit from Harbor Freight last time I was in there. Well, maybe not last time I was in there, but maybe 6-7 months ago. And they sell a whole clip or a whole kit with different cotter pins in there, and it's pretty cheap because you go through them quite a bit. Yeah, that thing is wrecked. Can you guys even see me? Sorry, I'm very bad at doing this with the camera here. You can't see me anyway, I'm on the other side. I'm not doing anything interesting, I'm just loosening up the nut on the right side. Oh yeah, somebody torqued it good. Come on, caliper, slide off. That caliper is on there. Looks like we have quite a bit of brake pad left. Okay. Get out of here. I'm just going to zip those bolts off. See if you can see here. Can you see? All right, sprocket bolts are 14 mil. So much grease on them, they're sticking in the socket. I believe these are stock sprocket sizes, I'm not sure. Does it go like this? Does it go like this? Which way does it go? That looks better. There's no markings on it. This side doesn't have any of that. That is a good question. We will find out if it's right or wrong. Like I said, I got to take it off anyway to replace the rim. At that point, we'll just push out. We'll just lift out the whole cush drive. Something just flew in my ear. trying to line up that brake mount. It's a pain in the ass. Of course this fell out. Can't tell if it's in there. The caliper's not lined up. Come on, you little bugger. Okay, second attempt successful. Just got to make sure that caliper's in the slot, otherwise nothing works. I don't have a rubber mallet anymore. Mine broke. I just haven't gotten one, so good enough. Put the nut on loose. And now I'm just going to screw these adjusters in so we can push the wheel as far forward as we can to get as much chain adjustment as it wears. Push it far forward on a new chain, and then you adjust it back for tension, and then as it wears you keep adjusting it back. That's how you're going to get your longest life. If you put the chain on now, I mean, you're going to run out of adjustment. So let me find I think it's a 10 and a 13 millimeter. The locking nut is a 12 millimeter, and the bolt head is a 10 millimeter. This one somebody boogered up. It's pretty stripped. You just loosen up the locking nut and then screw the bolt in. These are tight, man. It looks like the threads are messed up. Bolt's a little twisted there. You don't have to screw it all the way in because you're not going to have that kind of adjustment. You just want to be able to get it in there on that one link, because you're only going to have one link of adjustability. Usually you can find the rear rims pretty cheap. It's the front ones that are going to cost me. In most cases, that front rim's probably going to run $150 to $200 alone, and most people can never sell the back rims because they never usually bend. So they usually sell them for about 50 bucks. But I was hoping to save it with just bending the lip back, but she's got a pretty bad wobble. Definitely not worth it. Oh man, these are so tight. Man, how tight these. Let me find out the size of the front sprocket. Probably a 27. I have to pull the speedo sensor, not the sensor, but the inducer, whatever you want to call it. Inductor, inducer, gear. Come on, this is not out here. Come on. Okay. That's an Allen. Alright, it's a lot harder to do it because the chain's off, so I'm using the impact. And it'll pop that, I guess, reluctor wheel. Maybe that was the word I was looking for. So this is the, guess the reluctor wheel for the speed sensor. The sensor is reading those little notches. And let's see, 27 no, and 30 no, so it's 32. That's close. Pretty simple. Nut, washer, sprocket. You can see the sprocket, the teeth are kind of bent over this way. So this is toast. Man, it's like, I guess it goes on either way, it doesn't matter. Zero marking, so obviously it's Chinese. Hey, it was cheap, and this is a cheap build. Can't put too much money in it. There's zero profit. No one's gonna pay you more because it has an OEM sprocket and chain. So. Or a $350 sprocket and chain assembly. Some of those Vortex and arcade chains out there could be pretty pricey. I'm going to leave the sensor off now, and then I'll tighten it later. Once we get the chain on, I'll be able to tighten up that sprocket a little bit more. That's all it is. All it's doing is spinning because there's no resistance. And I'm just going to feed the chain through. I was hoping to do this outside, but today's a very rainy day. First rainfall in 3 weeks. And it's finally not 90 degrees anymore. And then I still got to figure out where that switch, the kickstand switch connector goes. Right now it's just dangling over here. Okay, the chain is, as expected, a few links too long. So I'm going to get the chain breaker tool again and break off a couple of links. Okay, it looks like we got to take off about two links. So you got to keep in mind you want to remove the closest outer link, which would be this one right here. Ah, of course. Thing's so slimy and oily. Alright, so that's where we want to remove this link right here. To remove this one, to actually 3 links, so then the master link will fit in there. Check that. So here's the pin that was pressed out. Keep this pin. This is a hardened pin, so I made a tool out of it to actually swage the, what's that thing called? The master link, the rivet type master link. So how those work is you press them in and then you swage the end so it you can't pull them out. This one didn't come with grease. The last chain I bought came with grease. Yeah, it looks like one O-ring is missing, but this is the wrong one. This is the clip type O-ring or master link. Yeah, I'm surprised it came with 2 different ones. Wasn't expecting that. There's the press on type. You swage those little indentations and it expands out and you can't pull. The cap won't come off anymore. Or the outer part of the chain, the link. Okay, so here's the tool that you can buy on eBay. Pretty cheap. This is meant for the clip-on type master link, but I modified it to use to actually put a press-on type in there. So this is my modification. Nothing else has changed. There's two of these to press on. I only did it to one. I'm going to purchase another one. They're cheap, 15, 17 bucks shipped, and do the same thing. So what that pin you're seeing in there, it's the hardened steel chain pin. So all I did was I went to my grinder, my bench grinder, and just ground it down to a slight point, leaving a little bit of it flat at top. So when it goes in, where'd it go? I lost it. When it goes into the link, it actually pushes that sharp point into that hole in the link, and it'll swage it out. Pretty simple process. So I'm going to use this tool right now to push the cap on, or the outer link, because these are a pain in the butt to put on. Since I modified this other one, I only have one to do the pushing. This one I can't use anymore because I put the pin in there. Come on. Oh, I forgot to grab my Allen tool. Let me grab the Allen tool. Sorry, my head's in the way. Can't see in there. This is not a quick process, especially when you're trying to fit the tool in there. You need like 3 hands to do this. It's not very fun. Of course, I can't see anything. little harder since I only have one of these, so bear with me. I know it's boring TV. And you do have to keep in mind how much you clamp this, because if you clamp it too tight, then your link's not going to move. Okay, now it's on there. Still moves freely. Lined up with the other links. It's like I said, you don't want to press it in too much because then you'll bind up the link and it will fail. So now it's in there. So now we could switch over to the part I made. So this is what comes with it. It has the little recess in there, so it slides over the link and pushes the outer link onto the inner link. And now the modified version is essentially this pin ground down to a point. This is hardened steel, so this is not going to fail. It's going to actually smash the pin that's on the outside. What is flying in my hair? And that's the point of it. The tool they sell, I mean, it's hard to find, and they're pretty pricey, honestly. You know, fortunately, I got to do one at a time. So now I'm just essentially doing the same thing, using the same tool. And now this is going to take a lot of force. Oh. Of course, a longer Allen would help. longer Allen, so it's a little harder. The fact that there's grease and oil over my hand doesn't help either. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. You could see it went inside and smashed it wider. So now this link is not coming off. I'm going to do it one more time just for some insurance. But in a nutshell, that's how you can modify these cheap ones. Go buy two and you'll have enough, you'll definitely have enough pins out of here to make an actual tool dedicated to pressing them in, because I don't have two, but I'll order one and then modify it. So you'll have one tool to press the outer link on, and then the other tool to swage the pins. Most importantly, there's no fear of your chain master link failing, especially those clip-on ones, and taking out your leg or damaging your bike. Especially if you're doing high-speed runs. What am I saying? All motorcyclists drive the speed limit. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I can't move it anymore. Whew. And there you go. One rivet type master link installed without buying the expensive special tool. Of course. All right, now we can adjust the chain. Good rule of thumb is 1/2 inch to 1 inch of slack. You know, put it to 1 inch and then see how it is. Make sure it's not slapping against anything. If that's too much slack, then go, 1/2 inch, 3/4 slack. So now there's lines on the swing arm on both sides, so make sure you're adjusting this outward to have this plate on each line on both sides equally. Otherwise your wheel's going to be cocked pretty bad. So we're 2, 4, 6. We're at 8 lines right now. Get in there. Oh, it's tightening up. So what are we at now? 2, 4, 6, 7 lines. Let's adjust this one to 7. Let's see what we get. 2, 4, 6, 7. Oh, the wife just came home. That means getting ready to eat soon. As if I really needed to eat. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, that's on the 7 line, so let's continue. It's about 1 inch of slack right now. I mean, that's not too bad. That don't sound good. This is supposed to be a 525 chain and a 525 sprocket set. Not sure where that noise is coming from, but I'm going to tighten up these adjusters. Something is binding here. Unless that sprocket was supposed to go the other way. Okay, I'm just an idiot. The chain was hitting the sprocket cover. Oops. Okay, now you see how far forward that wheel is? So now you have plenty of adjustability when as that chain wears to get the most life out of it. You know, I'm a stickler for maintenance, so I normally adjust my chain every oil change. So that's just me. You don't have to be that much of a stickler, but I'm not going to put the pin back in here in this nut, the cotter pin, because I gotta find a rim anyway, so this has to come off. Everything's working smoothly. Let me just put that sensor back together. I'm not the sensor, the reluctor wheel. Now I can zip it on. Oh, what? I forgot. Let me hit that nut. It's definitely tight enough now. This I'm just gonna lightly tap it, put it to my 1 setting. And then done. Now, if I only knew where this sensor went. There's gotta be. Let me lift the tank and see where that sensor is, because there's no point in doing it later now that I got the cover off, because I'm assuming it's gonna route around there. I won't keep you for that. It's gonna be a little boring. I'll be right back and the tank will be off, or lifted I should say. All right, the tank is up and I found the kickstand connector. All they did was, you know, pretty much what everybody else is going to do. They just cut the wire and twisted them together. They didn't leave it like that. They actually put tape around it, but this is a non-soldered connection, and the tape literally just pulled off. So the connector is deep in there. I do not know. Come on, where's this lever? The green one is the connector right there. That's it. But I have no idea how this routes. It is way too close to that chain, and I really don't want it getting ripped off. So I'm unsure where it goes. I don't know if it goes up the swing arm, the pivot bolt here. I don't know if it'll even fit up there. Around this, but it just doesn't look long enough. sure which way it goes. If I go around here, it's just, I don't think it's long enough for that. A lot of the old, earlier bikes, they wrap it around this way, but it's definitely not long enough for that. I mean, the connector is on this side of the bike. I'll go on the other side and see if I can fish it up through in between that swing arm. If any of you know where it goes, let me know. That's right by the chain, and that's a bummer. Looks like it goes on this side. Much nicer. Yeah, there's no other way to bring it because it's just not long enough. So that's got to be it. Be able to sneak it through the pivot bolt here. And then up there, and then it puts it right in that spot. Of course, you can't plug it in. Okay. It's finally in. Alright, now we got the kickstand going good. Let me get the cover on. And then the chain, sprockets, everything is done there. And then we can move on to, I'm not going to waste your time and put the mirrors on. You know, it's 2 bolts each mirror. So, you know, it's very boring TV. And I think I have something else. I got spark plugs, which I'm going to remove anyway because I got to pull the cover and check check the valve lash. Where's my 8mm? I can't see. Nope. That chain tightened quite a bit, so I'm gonna have to loosen that a little bit. Forgot to put the clutch cable on. Whoops. Note to self, you can't put it on with the cover on. In this recess here. Get out of there. Okay, let's try that again. And feel free, guys, to fast forward through this if it beyond bores you. As I said it many times before, I don't know how to edit video, so I don't know how to do the fast forward thing that all these other guys do. So you are getting real time. I'm beat. It's still pretty humid outside. I wish fall would come already, being that today's the first day of fall and it's still hot. So let me get the shifter on there. She got tight. Let me adjust this chain a little bit. Like that. Okay, very tight. How the heck that happened? I must have tightened the adjuster as I was tightening the lock nut. That's better. Better. Okay, in order to get to the spark plugs, all that garbage has to come off. That's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna snap my fingers, and voila, the intake is off. Not. I'm gonna finish up today. I'm gonna take this thing for a test ride. I'd like to see what it feels like with an actual muffler on there, because when I took it out before, it just had the straight pipe. It was bogging. It had no throttle response. It was popping and backfiring. She was running pretty lean, so I'm gonna put the tank back on loosely, and then I will see you guys next time for the valve check. I won't be able to adjust it that day, but valve check, spark plug change, and I still haven't gotten oil, so we'll do an oil change as well. And then I'm gonna look at the plastics and make sure that I can get them to fit here. But like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.